Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome as we initiate another installment of our emulation of that dumb kid from Pallet Town, whose apparent only goal was to catch them all. It was in his name. I guess he couldn't avoid it. It's another Quickview. It's another ProLine tire. It's the newest one. We have the initial, of course, disclaimers and disclosures. ProLine tires, when tested on this channel, are a topic of some, let me simmer that down into a sauce. I have been accused of deliberately tanking tests. I've been deliberately accused of taking lines in such a way as to make the tires look worse, which is honestly wild. I am pretty good. I have a pretty good muscle memory. I can put a tire through pretty much the same line that I just put another tire through. But the idea that I know exactly where the lines are to make a tire look worse than another and make another tire look better than another is insane. Because that is a question, that is a question that I do not like. Because they are questioning my... not bias. They're questioning everything I do when they ask that. It has nothing to do with that. And I know that's difficult for me to say because I'm the one offering the complaint. But this is an Aztek. You see the orange dot. It is in G8. All the ProLine tires were on sale at the time of this recording. We picked G8 because this is the desert. If you live someplace where it never gets hot, Predator is genuinely a better option for you. But here, there's about, it's probably 7 months of the year where Predator is not an option. This is going to be one of those days. The high will be over 100 degrees. Even now, before 7 a.m., the temperature is in the 70s. It is the desert. That is the air temperature. Rock temperature is what is critical to a tire. ProLine Predator really falls off above a certain temperature, really falls off. If the rocks start to get to about 85 degrees, which it could be cooler and the sun just could be baking the rocks, they really start to fall off. So we're going to test G8. G8 is also the more longevative compound. They are all fitted today with Canyon Custom Softs, all four. Typically, for an outfit, we have Canyon Custom Soft in the rear, Canyon Custom Medium, which is just a medium hair bun wrapped around an inner for the rear. But ProLine may indeed have done a thing that I have hollered about always and a lot of recent. This carcass is very thin, very thin. I would say 1.5 millimeters. And that's good. Because G8 is not your super soft compound. They're also pretty tacky for a G8 compound tire. We will see that's a good amount of chevron on the lug. We see it's just the same, it's just mirrored. The left and the right are mirrored from each other. And if there's a bonus point to be handed to ProLine, and there is. Oh, also, let me continue back. It's so thin. We couldn't put a Canyon Custom Medium in the rear tires because the tires were just completely bagged out. It didn't fill them. Because while we will get it on the tire gauge here in a moment, it just didn't fill the tire out. There's a lot of room inside the tire. It's the opposite of pretty much anything axial R35, where the walls are so thick that you can use an Endura silicone, an insert that's basically 8 to 10 millimeters narrower than the tire because the walls are so thick. This does not suffer from that. It does have not even ribbing or belting, but webbing. I don't know, what would we call that? Honeycombing? It's got honeycombing. Now, I don't know what the honeycombing is going to do. Honeycombing isn't explicitly directional, so I don't know how much rigidity that is going to offer, nor, well, we're not really going to need a lot of rigidity right there anyway. If those hexes just grab on to the insert better, then we're We're ahead of the game already. Now, ProLine did a thing. ProLine did a thing that I appreciate and approve of on every single level, because it is going to save me future labors, and I am on board for that. And here it is right here. Can we get it to zoom in close enough? Yeah, you see this little friend right here? It's a little arrow, and instead of the back of an arrow, it says rotation. I would say, with honesty and clarity, probably 70% of the tires I test, someone will say, now run them backwards. Now I don't have to. It's marked on the side of the tire. I truly and genuinely deeply appreciate this. Indicate the directionality of a tire. I want them to put directionality of a tire on tires that aren't even directional. Like if we're just talking a straight up LT radial tread, put an arrow on it, man. It will solve problems for everyone. I found that with mounting these, the best way to do it is bubble juice on the inner ring, but just go in dry on the outer ring. They go together just fine. I had no problem mounting any of these, mostly because we're working with a dual stage insert, and they tend to provide less, they tend to produce less problems. And G8 is soft enough. It's not an overwhelmingly firm compound. So, what are we going to find? When we get outside to where the rocks live, what are we going to find from the Aztek? I think the Aztek looks fine. In terms of more recent ProLine offerings, it is one of the better looking ones. We also have a fairly a substantial side lug, which I like, and it has long been my, if you're testing it, it's a hypothesis, or if you're testing it, it has long been said by me that most of the work of a tire is done right in this section right here, right where main lug meets side lug. That's where work gets done. That's where your positionability comes from. That's where a lot of things come from. So, I think ProLine have done a good job of structuring that area on the tire. We have a nice sipe line that runs all the way around, so that it means this isn't going to act overly firm. We have some good hook directionality on the tread. This is a properly directional tire. I do appreciate a properly directional tire. What I don't like, they work in some instances, but what I don't prefer are what I call directional asymmetrics, which is a tire that is not explicitly directional. There we go. Old flat iron will do. So this is the inside of the tire. This is the outside. You see how the lug is like a zigzag. It's like a crinkle. So this point of the crinkle is aiming backwards, and this point of the crinkle is aiming forward. If we flip it around, now this is the inside. The outside is aiming forward, and the inside's aiming backward. They're directional asymmetric. In a lot of instances, that doesn't make a difference. In some instances, a particular, here's a really limited example for you. The Jetco Adventurer was a tire that was specifically directional asymmetric, and I could feel it. Like it was discernible. It maneuvered differently when climbing, turning to the right, or climbing, turning to the left, because you're basically using different lugs. And I don't understand how that could be desirable over other options. Directional tends to be the best of your options. Look at tires that are, not including bar tires. Okay, bar tires are bars and pins are in their own thing. But if we're talking about more conventional luggery, which is not a word, directionality, explicit directionality, Baja Claws, like the Genius series from RC 4-wheel drive, Canyon Trails. Even to a degree, Trepadors and all of the interpretations of the Trepador. There's more performance to be had from a tire that is explicitly directional, and I say that knowing that the tires that are all the way at the top of the leaderboard are tires like the J-Concepts Rupture and the Tusk and the Hot Body Rover, tires that are not directional in any way. tusk, that's a whole nother thing. So the Aztek is directional. I try to level the expectations. We try not to go out there with expectations that are explicitly elevated, because that's a good way to get let down. My expectation is pretty normal in that I expect someone in the comments, no matter what these do, somebody's not going to be happy about it. That's a thing. G8 brings people together by pulling them apart. It's going to score a score that is too high for some people and too low for other people. Mostly too low, because people are going to be like, it's ProLine, it's the best. That should get a 105, no matter what your score go to. It's not going to. I have a preconceived notion, and it's impossible not to. I wish that I could just pan up with this camera right here. There's a tire rack just out of frame. It's just full. There's about 40 sets of tires up here, and not including the tires mounted on the fleet. In total, I've tested 75 different sets of tires, and full disclosure that nobody asked for, over here on the bench are tires that haven't been tested yet and are ready to be tested. Because, like that dumb kid from Palatown, we got to catch them all. I have a feeling where these are going to land. And that's a beauty. That's a beautiful thing. Because that means that the ProLine can only go one way or the other. It's very rare that a tire lands exactly on the number. It's going to be a little better than I think it should be, or it's going to be a little worse than I think it should be. No matter what, it works out. So we're going to find out. ProLine Aztek and G8. It is roughly Predator weather outside, but we're going to hit the G8, we're going to go through the 10 steps of the protocol, and we're going to see how we do. And no matter what I do, and no matter how this shakes out, somebody's going to be mad about it.
Let me let you in on a little something. Tire tests are not something that gets easier, because we're catching them all. The database gets deeper, and then it's impossible to not draw those cross comparisons. It's not possible. Viewing tires in a vacuum. Imagine you're a book reviewer and your job is to review books. The only way to do that in a way that dissenters will not disapprove of is they have to put you in the machine and erase your memory after you read every book. Okay, all right. Also, for those who follow these sort of things, we've been on fire for like a month. It's still going. The sky is orange right now. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. I do like a directional tire. Is this ProLine's Baja Claw? Like, do we feel that same sort of a feel about it? I mean, just in the shape of it. When I first saw the Aztek, my thought was Trepidor. And the Trepidor as an entity, like the layout of that tire doesn't seem to be conducive to high performance. Like I think I've tested like 6 or 7 different Trepidors. Thankfully, this is not that. Has a little mechanical there, a little slide. It's not explicitly on the Aztek there. And I have to say, on the drive back, a good chevron to the tread pattern, it just tracks so straight. It's so nice in how straight it tracks. They're quiet. I haven't heard any lug noise. We're punching, I would say right now, like 3/10 above where I thought these were going to be. So I contend a preconceived notion mixed with a testing protocol that tests everything in as close to the same condition as possible can only bring you a result. We're going to get a result. And it will be higher or lower than what I anticipated, and it's definitely going to be higher and lower than what other people hope for. I'm for sure the other guaranteed comment, oh, well, you know, you've got to imagine pushing up the imaginary glasses with tape in the middle. They've got to wear in. You've got to wear them in first. Nope, sorry. Because if we go... Ooh. That's okay. If you have another tire that costs the same amount of money or less and doesn't need wearing in to handle correctly, then why would you? Like, what are we doing? There are those very narrow windows, slits, one might say, where there's a tire that you have to run that tire in particular. The trail grappler is the one that keeps coming up. People need trail grapplers to match something. So they want to match something to that trail grappler. The Aztek has nothing to match to. So I can't see anyone having any sort of sentimental attachment to it. Oh, swampers. Don't get me started on swampers. Yeah, this is for G8, we're doing really well. We're genuinely doing well, to the point where I want to hit this again and see if I didn't. Like this pull-up right here, that was better the first time, but reasonably solid the second time. I'm also testing to see where these do on different levels of throttle input. Oh, very nice. Very nice, Aztek. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything that surprises me one way or the other. And on the one hand, the noise-canceling microphone does a really good job because they're building a whole bunch of stuff about a mile away from where I am. And every once in a while, the mic's not going to pick it up, so I'm going to do a terrible impression of it. You hear a sound that sounds like a Scooby-Doo noise. That noise is a big excavator with a claw bucket picking up microwave to washing machine sized rocks, dumping them into a thing that is crushing them into tiny little fragment rocks that they're using to fill, like they have to do the thing for flood control and irrigation. So all of these beautiful rocks just being all day long, like 10 hours a day, just crushing those beautiful rocks. It's a shame. They could give me those rocks. I would be fine with that. Maybe not all of them. There's a mound over there the size of a 7-Eleven. And he collapsed. It's gonna collapse a little. We got in a little over deep, pivoted around. What are we gonna do there? Ooh. We gotta pop it loose. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I don't feel any side slide. That's really good right there. This is one of those instances where I think you would need one size bigger hair bun if you're going to do the normal split. You're going to need the 3.5. I think they call a large. You'd need the large for the rears to fill these out a little more. We never got the... as I was saying that, I realized we never put it on the sizer. I'm going to have to run, at some point, I'm going to have to run back to the shop, get the tire sizer and get a wrench to take the tires off so that we can measure one, because, yeah. The shoulder gets a little more swampery than I thought it would. Feels great on the side hill. When it gets to the transition, that rear needs more support. When we pop over to camera 2, right about now, it will show something that I didn't notice. Very good. There used to be a big shipping container right there in the shot. Now I'm gonna have to go back and look at footage. When did that disappear? That thing was here for like a year and a half. Oh, that's really good right there. That's really good. That's the best thing you've shown me, Aztek. That was really good. Okay, position. Got that little hop. We're right at the limits of traction. Little fall back. Very nice. Very nice. There is a predictability. I don't know explicitly how it would react. I would run it like this. You're going to have some transfer issues loading that rear, so you're just going to have to watch your approaches into situations more. But the amount of forward drive we're getting, I think, has helped a lot by just running softs all the way around. Obviously, the weight of your vehicle will determine, and as with all things in the universe, your results indeed may vary. I didn't even get to do the reposition. So we'd come across here. Oh, that's just solid. That's absolutely solid. Early on record? Maybe. That might be a new one. There's a real acrobatic positionability to the Aztek. I'm having a good time. That might be, in a 1.9, in a proper Class 2, which is what this is, that might be the best I've seen from a GA tire. What? See how we do on the breech here. Nice. Very nice. A little stucky there. There we go. Positionability, as I say, should be really very good. Very good. Very good. Responsive to a number of different levels of speed inputs. We're not resigned. And that is, I don't know if that's chevroning, I don't know if that's the lug height, but really mid-band, real slow creep, doing well, kind of really well-rounded. I've got a brain itch now because these are very reminiscent. Reminiscent. That's the wrong cut. You got to get closer right here. Yeah, the maneuverability is really good. So as long as the tire keeps getting better, then we're doing the thing. It was good at the Beast. It's better here at Oblivion. Look at that pull around. I think that's going to pull around without sliding off. Are we going to fall? No, we're going to hold. I feel like we're going to hold. Yep. Nope. I got way too far out. You know what? Let's swing it all the way around. We'll go for the straight up here. Let's see. Forward drive is really good and it's predictable. A little belly up. I don't want to drop in. I want to see if we can come across the top here. Yeah, a tire that does what is asked of it. There it is. There it is. I'm going to say a phrase. I've already thought the phrase, and we're not ready to deliver it, but we will deliver it later, I am quite sure. So I got too deep right here, and the same thing that messed us up on the side hill may get us again. Now we held it. That time, driver rear was low side, and it was over compressing. So in those certain situations, the insert is not acting firm enough. That is something that is very ProLine. A lot of ProLine tires are very choosy about what insert they like. Dual stage, I can't imagine running these on a single stage. The sidewall is too thin. You're gonna have to run a dual stage or something 3D printed in these. You just take that into account. But if they can do well on a Canyon Custom, which are very inexpensive to assemble, then that's an overall positive. These are doing really well, and I really do think that the hex is working because it is stopping the insert from shifting on the beadlock ring. We don't have any tire. Let me come at it again. Let me see here. No, we have no wobbly tire. They all look good. Catch up, guys. ProLine, the little hex, the honeycomb, does the thing. So again, that is operating off of an assumption. I don't know that's what they intended. The sun is so low in the sky that we're just in my shadow right now. Very nice, very nice. On the side, got popped a little. Can you pull it back? Yes, you can. Drop it down. Drop it down. Carve back. Excellent. Excellent. Like, really very good. Center cut? Can you pull a center cut? Can you get up there with them? Yeah. That's looking real good. It's looking real good. Bump should be great. Oh, the sun just broke over. Okay, solid. Genuinely, if there's a surprise that I've got here, it's forward drive. We have way more forward drive than I would have anticipated. The unspoken thing that I'm thinking and not speaking, still holding true. That's nice and straight. Yeah, good direction. And straight into a roll test, back, reverse. So I think this is going to be a tire that wants to do the forward. So we go. Nah. That is a fair to midland self-right performance. Let me get another one of those in here. Get up a little higher. There we go. See the ground. Caught a little bit of rock there. Surprising, and yet not surprising. Directional tires don't like the reverto flip that much, except for canyon trails, because on the shoulder lug on a canyon trail, the shoulder lug basically reverses direction. So when you run it backwards, you can self-right real easily. The bump does really well. I need to write the scores down. We only got 2 things left. I have a bunch of numbers rattling around in my head. The Aztek is shaping up to be the best G8 tire, which, you know, that's great. More good things is better. We should see decent. They appear wide enough, and they've got that good chevron. So we get a little crab action, but no problem there. Transition should be great. Clearing, we can only interpolate. We can only give what we expect to see in terms of clearing mud from them. These might glaze up like a donut because while we do have some step to the lug, not Hyrax-like. They're just like kind of coved out. We've got some little concave lugs. Everything is kind of uniform in height, and we're definitely at or above that 50-50 split. It's probably like 60% lug, 40% open space. That is going to impact clearability. So I definitely would not call this a mud tire. I would think of this more as an all-around tire. Trying to get that on. Use that low speed. Keep hanging the pumpkin. Camera come across. Can we, through the soft, can we get that over? Yeah. Do we have to burp it? Nice. Really good. This is, okay, let's just throw it out there. Let's throw it out there. Potentially unpopular opinion. ProLine, it's time to let it go. Just stop making the Hyrax, and just, the Aztek is the new Hyrax. It's the new all-rounder, but it definitely plays better with the, air quotes, new G8 compound. The G8 compound they make today is not the same G8 compound they were making when G8 started. This layout, this configuration, the thickness of the carcass, the honeycombing, all of the things of the Aztek form together like rubbery Voltron and make a superior product than the Hyrax. I would also say these are better in my experience than the Trencher. They're punching above the weight of the Trencher. I know a lot of people really love the look of the Trencher, and the Trencher has one small advantage among G8 tires, that being that it is not directional, so it's going to last you longer. When you have an over feather on the front of the lug and your traction starts to fall off, you can flip them around and run them the other way. You don't have this choice with these. But I don't hold that against tires, because there are a lot of tires that are, while maybe not marked, are explicitly directional. Baja Claws, Sem Fronteras, Sem Limites, and on and on. Even tires like Deepwoods, Louis Champs, there is a directionality to that lug. And when you run them backwards, they're terrible. So if not marked as explicitly directional, they are. These are marked as explicitly directional. So you're going to get the life out of them you're going to get. G8 is a compound that, in my experience, will gas out and crack before you wear it out. You would have to drive them a lot. We have a lot of vehicles here. So tires die to the rot before they die to the rock, and that's fine. Tires are here for a good time, not for a long time. I mean, the longest that you're going to get out of a set of tires, what, with low use, 10 years? I mean, think about the grand scheme of things, you know. I have shoes that are over 10 years old. So, but the Aztek is definitely proving itself to be progress. You would think that after time spent testing these tires, I would remember to put them in the sizer, but think again. I would call it 117. It could be 118 if we hold on loosely. And don't let go. Testing this one-handed on the side. 40, oh, I might go as high as 49. 48, 49, maybe a millimeter wider than what we're typically used to seeing. I would call it, let's call it 118 by 49, which is, that's class 2. It is class 2. It is a class 2 tire. What does the sidewall say? The sidewall will be in inches. 49 is very close to 2 inches. 2 inches would be 52 millimeters. 1.7 by 4.75. So it's way wider. Now, you could run a narrower foam. That's going to make it taller. So, some truth in advertising, but it doesn't explicitly match the dimensions on the sidewall. I did tighten, yeah, okay. Good. I like to see a tire after it's gotten dusted up. I like to see performance not, I don't want to see that scrabble, and the Aztek are doing great. That's why we go straight from teardrop to the wet test, because I want to see dust and then I want to see them cleaned off. These are, honestly, these are doing really well. We came down from the top there because I've been getting a little crazy trying to reach around the camera to run that spray. Oh, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Yeah, if this isn't the best that we've seen by a ProLine tire, I don't know what is. I never look at the scoreboard. I never look at the spreadsheet before coming out to do a test. That is not how we work. So I did have to sit down and look at the board to see where these landed after we added all the numbers up, because we're at 96.7. I felt that these were about a point better than the Fossil. This is the better Fossil. This is the Duratrax Fossil, but better. And that has to come down to tread, because the Fossil, the sole remaining Duratrax tire, Duratrax is gone. They say made in USA on the side of the sidewall. And that leads everybody to think that ProLine became the new OE for the Fossil. I don't know why they didn't just drop the Duratrax name altogether and have ProLine make the Fossil. It would be a good head-to-head battle to choose a worse name for a tire. Is it Aztek with a K, like the old Pontiac, or is it the Fossil? I don't know. They're equally bad. I do know that traction-wise, forward drive-wise, overall performance-wise, the edge here is definitely to the Aztek. There is one tire higher on the leaderboard from ProLine. It's the Ibex. It's the Ibex pin. That's a completely different thing. In terms of Class 2s, the Aztek has done better than all of them. It's genuinely getting up there. That's close. 96.7. I want to say a Tusk is around a 97. That's That's really, really good for ProLine. This is the best that ProLine has done. If these are still on sale by the time you watch this video, soft recommendation, knowing that A, they're directional. So if you drive them a lot, they're not going to last as long as something that is not explicitly directional, because you can't flip them around and run them backwards. And if you don't drive them a lot, they are ProLine, so they are going to dry rot out on you. You will get a couple of years. This is the desert. It gets very dry here. We have tires rotting themselves apart in 18 months. But we have them, RC four-wheel drives. J-concepts get weakened right around the bead where they attach to the rim and they start to tear. ProLines tend to get just like surface scattering cracks all across the sidewall, and then they start to get crumbly. All tires rot. All current modern tires rot. That flat iron non-XL that you saw earlier is over 10 years old. That's how you know that the compounds that they're making today are not the same as the compounds that they were making then. We have a number of sets of tires here. I have a set of original axial rock lizards from the AX10 Scorpion that are probably like 12 or 13 years old. They look brand new. The compounds today are not the same as the compounds that they once were. So in terms of the new compounds of today, in terms of new G8, the Aztek is the best at it. In G8, yeah. On record, not excluding anything bar or pin, Class 2s. This is the best ProLine has done. Now, when they're at regular price and they're $33 a pair, that is still inexcusable, because that costs more than tires that score better. So, you know, but if you're a ProLine guy and ProLine is your jam, then definitely strongly consider the Aztek. It is the better fossil. It's just overall, in terms of overall performance, it did better. 96.7, I think that's our second 96.7 that we've had on the test. If you're above an, I'll tell you now, I was expecting like a 96 flat. I was genuinely surprised by the forward drive. The places where it fell were self-righting and side hilling at the extreme. It got docked there, but was pretty much consistent across the board. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it, and that's, you know, it's good to see. I'm not biased against any company in particular. I might not like their practices, but I like to look at their products. And in terms of ProLine tires, this is a step in the right direction. The honeycomb on the side keeps them straight on the insert. I don't know if that was their intention, but that's what it does. They're marked as directional. They behave as directional. They bump straight. They have good forward drive. They're not exceptionally picky about an insert. Your insert will obviously vary rig to rig. Baseline's about 5.5 pounds and does really well on softs all around. I could see where the weaknesses are. You're just moving that total available grip around. So you would give up a little bit of forward drive in order to pick up a little bit more side hilling. But as long as we have the versatility and we have a tire that does that which is asked of it, then I have no complaints. The ProLine Aztek did better than expected today, and my expectation of a 96 being erased by the actual delivery of a 96.7 is, what can you say? That's really good. That is the highest that any ProLine tire non-pen has scored on the leaderboard. Good on ya, ProLine. Make them better. Go back to the old original G8, or listen to me here, just make a new compound. Make something that is, make G8.2, G8.2. This is really, really good for a G8, but I can't help but thinking that if we take that same mold that the Aztek was made in and we inject a different rubber into it, we'd have a Tusk. We'd have a megalithic level tire, right? We'd be in that 97, between 97 and 98 area, because G8 is going to, the wet surprised me. There were a lot of surprises today. I think we came out really well. I don't think, and this is a absolutely insane thing to say. I don't think people will be upset about a 96.7. I think ProLine did really well. Unfortunately, they're going to have to go on the full leaderboard at their regular price, not their sale price. And at $33 a pair, is it good enough? Knowing that you're going to have to replace the foams, is it good enough? I don't know. That's not for me. That's for mosquitoes. It's that perfect time of, it's mosquito o'clock. That is up for to you to decide. So y'all decide that. And if you have already decided or you're thinking about deciding, let me know in the comments below. It'll be fun. It'll be, you know what? Discourse is why we're here. So, thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you here again in between now and then. Please, one and all, do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you again real soon here from the canyon. Oh, yeah, we're parked in an appropriate location for driving out of frame. ProLine Aztek 96.7. I'm not mad at it.